Then there was The Sopranos last night. It was predicted in my household that the son, the weak son, would try to kill himself, which he did. And I never saw a suicide attempt like that, tying a plastic bag over your head and attaching a concrete block to your foot, sitting on the swimming pool, the edge of a swimming pool diving board, and then falling into a pool. But it was touching when the father, the character, Tony, jumps in the pool, sees him there, jumps, hears the kid screaming, comes home and jumps right in the pool. That was in character, that a man of action would do that. Instead of calling 911, he jumped in the pool to save his son, which I thought was well done, and the son crying in his arms. First he smacks him and says, "What's wrong with you?" Then he starts to console him. It was very touching. I have to tell you, it was really good acting. And unfortunately, there are millions of kids today in rehab all around the country who are too weak to go on. They're like the ducklings who can't make it. They are like the birds whose mama cracked open the egg for them, and consequently they can't fly. I'll never forget my father taught me when I was young. He taught me an awful lot. Uneducated man in the sense, never went past the ninth grade. I don't know where he went. Never asked him, really. I know he wasn't college educated. I don't even know if he finished high school, but he was real smart. And he knew what he had to know. But he said to me, he would teach me a lot through nature, natural things. And he said, you see the bird? He would show, like we go to nature movies, I don't remember where, but he said, look how the bird has to fight its way out of the eggshell. I said, why, Dad? Why doesn't the mother peck open the egg for the baby? Look how it's struggling, that little skinny, scrawny thing without feathers. It looked horrible. He said, because if the mother breaks open the shell and the baby doesn't have to struggle, the baby will die. It will not have the strength to make it in life. And that, of course, is what socialism is. Socialism is Big Mama breaking open the eggshell at every stage of the life, turning us all into victims and serfs. That is the kind of government the Democrats are building in this country, step by step, brick by brick. Of course, the Republicans are not far behind. They're building that kind of government where we will all be dependent upon them until eventually there is nobody left to actually create anything for this country. So The Sopranos was very interesting in that regard. But the country's filled with children. They look good, they sound good, they dress good. But fundamentally, they can't take care of themselves because they were coddled as infants and as children. They were given too much. They were never made to work. They didn't push them out of the nest early enough to take a stinking rotten job that the illegal aliens are doing. See, I made my children actually do rotten jobs in high school. The other parents thought that I was a mean father. One worked in Wendy's at age 14. He had to take a bus to a horrible neighborhood to work in Wendy's. Did I do it because he needed the money? I did it because I knew if I continued to just give him money, he wouldn't make anything of himself. And my other child, God bless her, worked in a gardening store and went around putting in plants. It wasn't a high job. In other words, it was a job. And it had dignity. I said to both children, there's no such thing as labor which is embarrassing. I said all labor is sacred. I taught them that. I said all labor is sacred. I taught them that. And the point here is that high school kids used to do the jobs that the illegal aliens do. There are tens of millions of bums sitting around in this country. White kids who do nothing but get high all day and listen to stupid music with earphones. They're the ones who should be picking the crops. They're the ones who should be in a car wash. They're the ones who should be looking for a job this summer in a hotel as a busboy, as I did. Or God knows what else I had to do 18 to 20 hours a day. The fact of the matter is it didn't make me a worse person. And so we don't need the illegal aliens. They can go home as far as I'm concerned. They can all go home. They're illegal. How many different ways do I have to say the word? They're criminals. You are a criminal if you're here illegally. Go home. Go home. And then the jobs will open up, and I'll tell you what will happen. The greedy pigs in the hotel and restaurant industry, the greedy pigs in the gardening industry, the greedy pigs in the contracting industry, the greedy pigs around America who are using cheap labor, which is supplemented by tax-based funding, will have to hire teenagers to do those jobs, and they'll have to pay them more money. And the greedy pigs might not be able to buy a third mega yacht of 195 to 400 feet. The greedy pig might only be able to have 2 yachts of 200 feet. The greedy pig might only be able to buy 10 islands. The greedy pig might only have 3 Gulf Streams instead of 1 for his granddaughter. So you see, there's plenty of money to go around. Just the greedy pigs have gotten too greedy. And it's got to end. I'll be right back.